What if everything we have learned in history books for the last 20 years is wrong? Everything we know about the development of civilization seems to indicate that it began around 5,000 years ago with the domestication of animals, plants, and the invention of pottery. However, a shocking discovery made in southeastern Turkey changes all of this. A mysterious temple has been discovered that was built 12,000 years ago. But who were its builders? And most importantly, why was it buried? Welcome to my channel. Today we will answer these questions. In today's video, we are going to talk about one of the most extraordinary archaeological finds of the 21st century, which shook the whole world. An astounding fact: 12,000 years ago, when the entire planet was inhabited by hunters and gatherers, someone built an amazing megalithic structure in Anatolia. Göbekli Tepe means hill of the potbelly in Turkish. It is located in the southeastern province of Konya, where the biblical Eden is believed to have been located. In 1994, a local shepherd stumbled across some unusual stones while taking his flock to graze on a mountainside. He noticed something strange sticking out of the ground. At first glance, it looked like a large boulder, but when the man came closer and started clearing away the dirt, he saw that it was actually a giant monolithic column carved in the shape of a T. A team of archaeologists, led by Klaus Schmidt, began exploring the site in 1996 and found many more T-shapes. They realized that they had stumbled upon a huge prehistoric temple complex. There were about 2,000 of these pillars, arranged in circles and other geometric shapes. Some were adorned with carvings of animals such as lions, bulls, snakes, and spiders. The site covered an area of 35 acres. Its construction predates Stonehenge by 7,000 years. It was also built 2,000 years before the invention of writing, pottery, and even agriculture. So what was its purpose? How did they come up with such an idea? Where did the knowledge come from? This is still a mystery to scientists today. Klaus Schmidt said, "I think we can safely say that this was not a settlement. Rather, we have here the oldest temple complex ever known." Another researcher suggested that people may have gathered at Göbekli Tepe during certain times of the year for religious ceremonies and rituals. Similar to Stonehenge, they came together to worship the gods, dance around a sacred fire, and sacrifice animals. However, archaeologists have not yet been able to find any artifacts such as remnants of sacrifices, clay tablets, jewelry, or weapons. In fact, they have found nothing to prove that people even lived there. The only thing that can be seen is how skillfully the pillars were erected. The weight of the T-shaped columns ranged from 4 to 16 tons. The heaviest blocks were placed vertically. Some of them reached the height of 5 meters. Scientists estimate that to move a 16-ton stone, it would take 8 strong men to roll it just 1 meter. But these people didn't use any metal tools, not to mention a crane or a tractor. Yet they managed to erect entire walls out of 16-ton stones without any mortar. It's a breathtaking feat that no one can explain. How could ancient people lift enormous boulders without sophisticated technology? Where did they get such knowledge? At the moment, the scientific community has no answer to these questions. To date, the oldest evidence of organized religion dates back 7,000 years. Before that, scientists assumed that primitive people lived in small tribes, constantly moving from place to place. They hunted wild animals and collected wild plants for food. But where did the ancient builders of Göbekli Tepe get the idea to make their lives more settled and organized? As we have already mentioned, Göbekli Tepe was built around 10,000 BC, but according to the current theory, people began to build settlements only from 7,000 BC. Could it be that people built temples before they started farming? Some researchers believe that the emergence of religion preceded the transition to agriculture. Thus, the Göbekli Tepe could be the cradle of faith, that is, the first sanctuary built by humans, where the divine and the mundane yet intersect. There is another mysterious detail. Why did the ancient builders cover it with soil after several thousand years? Either they did it for unknown ritual purposes, or it was a message for future generations. After all, for 7,000 years, the existence of Göbekli Tepe was forgotten until it was rediscovered in 1994. The discovery of Göbekli Tepe shook the scientific world so much that experts began to put forward very unusual versions. For example, some mythological interpretations are based on the theme of gods bringing knowledge to people, which is central to Sumerian and Babylonian mythology. These ancient cultures tell stories about gods who descend from the heavens and impart knowledge and skills to humans. In this context, Göbekli Tepe could symbolize the place where the gods revealed themselves to the first primitive people. According to another version, Göbekli Tepe is the symbol of the place where Adam was expelled from paradise. Moreover, some esoteric interpretations suggest that this structure may have been built for the sole purpose of communicating with the gods. Supporters of this version believe that in the distant past, people knew how to contact higher powers and even receive knowledge and skills from them. The pyramids of Egypt and other megalithic structures around the world are also considered to have been built for similar purposes. Now, let's consider an alternative theory. According to official science, civilization suddenly developed about 5,000 years ago. But what if it didn't? What if it was previously developed but got lost? In other words, what if there was a great ancient civilization that existed long before Göbekli Tepe, and the Younger Dryas impact event that caused the Ice Age and destroyed it? Could it be that this civilization left us a legacy in the form of megaliths that puzzled scientists? What if Göbekli Tepe was part of a vast network of sacred sites that once stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific? Could there be a connection between Göbekli Tepe and the lost civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria? This intriguing hypothesis suggests that the builders of Göbekli Tepe possessed advanced technologies and astronomical knowledge. It is believed that the structure was carefully aligned with the stars in the sky. If this is true, then it's hard to imagine how people could have known anything about astronomy in those days. After all, astronomy requires sophisticated instruments and deep mathematical calculations. How could ancient people know anything about the stars? Maybe they really did. Maybe they were smarter than we think. In the end, we have to admit that there are many things in our world that we simply cannot explain. We don't know where life came from. We don't know how it arose from inanimate nature. And we still don't know what happened to the advanced civilizations that existed thousands of years ago. We only know that our world is full of mysteries, and that there is so much more to discover. Archaeologists have been excavating Göbekli Tepe continuously since 1996, but they have only explored 5% of the site. Perhaps further excavations will shed light on many of the mysteries. It is difficult to predict whether the excavations will continue and new discoveries will be made. After all, in addition to the fascinating history of the site itself, there is another secret hidden beneath the layers of soil of Göbekli Tepe, a secret that has been buried for 12,000 years. Perhaps it's just a temple. Perhaps it's a dark secret from the past. Perhaps it's the memory of a forgotten civilization. Perhaps humanity is about to awaken something it has long forgotten. What do you think? Who built Göbekli Tepe? And why did they bury it? We're waiting for your answers in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked the material, please hit the like button. See you later.